Hi, this is Catherine Rose. I'm with Board Game Geek here at SPIEL 2016. I'm sitting with Yaro Andrushkiewicz from PHALANX, and he's here to talk about Germania Magna.
Thank you very much.
So please tell me about this game.
Yes, I will. Yeah. Okay, so everyone's looking for the next great subject to cover, right?
Of course.
Like this year we have like 5 games about Mars.
Yes.
Right? What was the last year's subject? Remember?
Oh, I don't remember last year, but a few years ago it was Essen. So.
Yeah. So everyone's doing it, and but we follow our hearts, and we stick to what we love the most, and we believe there is a lot of history in history. There is a lot of stories in the history that are worth covering, and one of them is a Roman Empire. Very popular subject for all the games. But what happens usually is that you play Romans all the time. You build empire, you expand, you conquer others, and so on.
It's the same thing, but in a new way.
In a different ways. You build cities and aqueducts and all these things, but no one reaches, well, I haven't seen many games, reaching the point where actually the Roman Empire crumbles.
Ah.
What happens then?
Interesting.
Who's taking all those wealth?
Those pieces that were left over after it crumbled.
How the other empires are built on top of what was left. In other words, what is our future? That thing aside, this is a 2 to 4 player game that takes 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how quick we play, as usually, right? We have that time span, which is semi-co-op.
Okay, interesting.
Semi-co-op or competition, that using that coin word, game in which each of the players we have set up for 4 represents a German chieftain who is looking across the Rhine, and there are many goodies down there
that they want to get their claws into.
Yes. So what the chieftains are scheming is they want to create an expedition, to form an expedition that will be able to reach the province. We have Germania Prima, which is the Roman name of a province. Defeat the Roman garrison, the forces, take the loot and glory.
Ah, right? Glory.
Yes.
Always glory.
Yes, glory and loot. Well, what else in life, eh? So if you're into mechanics, I suggest you just go to BGG and you find a nice movie there showing how the game plays. I'm not into introducing all the mechanics here. I want to tell you the story behind the game. So, in general, there are some opportunities which will open to players in form of those beautiful cards. Look at the illustrations.
Very beautiful, yes.
The game was actually dubbed as one of the most beautiful illustrated games of the period. It's been just successfly founded on a Kickstarter.
Fantastic.
And we're just delivering to the players as we speak, basically. There are Kickstarter pickups on our booth, and the games will be sent just after the fair to the rest of those who are happy and lucky enough to support us. The players will, using their tribal cards, which are many and plenty.
Beautiful artwork on these cards as well.
Artwork is, we just so excited ourselves, to be honest, about those graphics. They'll be using their forces, and they'll be using different events to first form the expedition that will go and conquer Roman province, and then to play the little game who's getting most of the success out of it. So you'll be forming your army like warriors, and at the beginning of the turn, the player has a choice: either taking some money, some loot, as we call it, or taking tribal cards like a Roman hospital, right? That may be useful. Fog, that will let you withdraw from the expedition you don't want to be part of, so you can trick other players into, I'm convinced I'm going there.
So all the cards are very.
It's very interactive. It is very interactive. Yes, and it all feeds. It's more than it feeds the team. And actually, the game has been designed by professors and lecturers of ancient history.
Fantastic.
So on every card, in a very small print,
There's
you can
a nice
see
little bit of
flavor text, a quotation from classical literature that is explaining you why the card works this and not the other way. So there is more than just the gameplay. There is also a great
bit of history
story
in here, yeah.
Great story behind it. So predictions, or called omens, which will help you to negate a card someone else has played, or a rain that stops players from committing any more forces, and you can have the upper hand because they are stopped from going into the province you want to take, right? Each province, except apart from the nice picture, has has some information on it. It has the strength. It has number of Roman garrison units which are attached to it. So there is a Roman garrison sitting, which is basically modifying the strength of the province. But we don't know what is it until we find out. Yeah. So there are Romans sitting there. There is also a special effect for the player who was the strongest in the combat.
And victorious.
Victorious. And there is also a special effect if you are defeated as an expedition.
So what happens if you try and you fail?
Exactly. So what happens if we don't take the province? What losses? How losses are distributed? What do we lose in terms of loot and money and units and so on and so on? Since there is a number of provinces that you choose from, well, you draw them. You start with one, then the next one shows up, like, for example, Noricum Mediterraneum or Liguria. Players will have a choice. There will be three of them on the table. Players will have a choice where should they send their forces, and where will they play their special effects, and they can also negotiate who's going to help whom.
Yeah, who's going to work together
who's
against
going to come in with me to
who's going to try to fix them by
because
themselves.
guys, there is a lot of money to be taken. So and then I'm actually the one who withdraws and moves somewhere else. It's a lot of interaction, very interactive game. You are also supported by a chieftain, so the chieftains have special effects which will help you. They first determine the order in which we move, but they don't stick with you forever. Every turn you have a different chieftain. So with a different chieftain card, you may plan ahead that you want to take that province in the next turn, for example, and so on and so on. When we win the province, there is a little table that is telling you how much victory points or glory points we're getting depending on how many players and what was the strength of the province. So basically, that's it. The game finishes when 6 provinces are either conquered or their cards are being discarded. As simple as that. But if you look at those tribal cards, and I'll do it again because I just can't stop looking at
all the glorious art,
at the pictures, and also at the great effects they are describing and the stories behind them. So I think it's just for a Roman history fan, I think it's a must-have.
Great.
For those who supported us on the Kickstarter, we have this little Roman Empire map by our artist Paweł Kaczmarczyk, who gave it us as a nice gift, exclusive.
Very nice.
We also produced Roman dice.
Oh, these are beautiful.
Yeah, they're actually, they are not perfect, right?
No.
Have you ever seen Roman dice? You did.
Yeah.
So you know that they were making them handmade, and they had sometimes problems of hitting it right.
Yeah,
so,
or they're not even doing it all the way in.
Yeah. They were not even regular in shape, right? That's why they were using.
Not perfect at all.
Yes, yes. But of course, in 21st century, it's very difficult to create something that is not perfect. But we've made an attempt, and you can get those dice as well from us.
Fantastic.
There is a little something for you as well.
Thank you so much.
I don't know how you guys call it. In England, they call it fudge or fudge, depending where you're coming from. How is it in the States?
Fudge.
Fudge.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is Germania Magna from PHALANX.
Thank you.